Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening based on wherever you live. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be continuing our Salesforce interview question series, and this is the part 6 video where I will be discussing process builders and flows. So let's get started. So first we will be discussing about process builders and then I'll go to flows. Okay, even before I start process builder, I just want to give one update on process builders. This update is very similar to what I've given for uh, workflows as well. So Salesforce recently announced that they will be uh, retiring workflows as well as process builders. Okay, even though Salesforce have recently introduced process builder, recently means not just last year but a few years back, it was the successor of workflows, but later on Salesforce moved their focus on flows, and they have built flows really powerful, and whatever we can do with process builders now can be done on flows. So Salesforce main focus is to retire workflows as well as process builder, and then want everyone of us to start using flows. Okay, so if it is retiring, then why do we have to learn, right? That is the big question you will have. So you will still have to learn it. You might still be getting interview questions on process builders because as I said, for workflows, companies have built a lot of process builders, right? Maybe eventually if they want to migrate the process builders to flows, you should understand how the process builders works. Okay, so let's get started with the first question on process builders. What is a process builder? Okay, let's see. Process builder is also allows us to automate, okay, the organization's business process. Okay, it is very similar to workflows, right? It also does the automation for business process, right? And then quickly without writing any code, similar to workflows, but it is more powerful and flexible than workflows and gives us the graphical representation as we build, right? So after Salesforce moved from classic to lightning, they have introduced this process builders, okay, and changed the UI and little bit made it more powerful than the workflows, wherein we can do multiple extra things, like we can call the apex classes and all those things, and it is obviously more powerful than workflow, and it is having a better graphical representation than the flows as well. Okay, what are the different processes a process builder can support? So let's see what it supports. So process builder supports three types of processes for automation needs. Record change. So process starts when a record is created or updated. So whenever we want to do something based on the record creation and updation, then we can use this process on a record change. And the second one is a platform event occurs. So process starts when a platform event message is received. I'm not sure if you all aware of this platform event feature. So if you're aware that we have a feature called platform events, okay, which is mostly used in integrations. So we want to do something based on the platform events, then we can use this process. Okay, the third one is it invokes by another process. Let's say, for example, I have a one process, okay, to do some automation, okay, based on let's say multiple different states. Okay, so I created a main process builder, okay, but as soon as the state is let's say, for example, New Jersey, right? Whenever New Jersey states comes in, I want to have a different process for that. So what I can do is I create a separate process and then call from the main process. Okay, so this can be invoked by another process. And similarly, what I can do is I can create a sub process for a separate state called Atlanta, right? So whenever there is a record which having state is equals to Atlanta, then instead of the first process which I created for New Jersey, it will not be called it. The second process will be called Atlanta, right? So this is just an example, but if you have to call one process from another process, then this third option can be used. Okay, if you can see, like here, we have three options. Whenever we are creating the process builder, as on a record change, a platform event message is received and it is invoked by another process. So based on your requirement, you can choose whatever you want. Okay. Next question is how different is process builder from workflow, right? This is important. So let's see how different it is. So with the process builders, we can create a record of any object type. We can create the records. Can we do this with workflow? No, we cannot do, right? So update any related records, not just the record or its parents. We can update any record, okay? We can update the child record as well as the parent record, right? We can also use a quick action to create a record, update a record, or log a call, invoke a process from another process. We can launch a flow, right? Flow we have not yet discussed, but we can launch a flow from process builder. You can't schedule this action with a workflow. Okay, you can't do this with workflow, right? You can do it with the process builders. We can send an email. This can also be done with workflow as well. Post to a chatter, right? And submit a record for approval and call Apex classes or flows. We can do so many things. These many options were not available in workflows, right? So as I said, this was the successor of workflow, okay? Wherein Salesforce have provided more options or, given more power for us to automate things. If you could see here, we have Apex classes, create a record, email alerts, flows, post to a chat, process, call a process, quick actions, quip, okay, send email, custom notifications, or submit for approval and update records. So these many features were available in Process Builder. But if you remember, for workflows, we were having only 4 options, right? What were the 4 options? To send an email, to create a task, to update a field, and to send an outbound message. Okay, only one thing I can't find from workflow into the process builder is we don't have an option to send an outbound message, right? For still sending an outbound messages, people used to use the workflows. Okay. Next question, can we have multiple if and else like conditions in process builders? Let's see. Yes, we can have multiple if and else like condition in process builder, but we cannot have it in flows. Flows was very basic, right? It was not having this much if and else kind of conditions, but with process builders we have this one. So can you see this one? So when I'm writing a process builder on opportunity, I can have multiple conditions. Okay, either I can stop it on the condition, or I have an option to just run a next condition as well. Okay, which was not there in workflows. Next question is, can we create more than one process builders for an object? Obviously we can create. Okay, yes, we can create more than one process builders for an object, but it is best practice to use one process builder and define multiple process using conditions, right? If you have an enterprise org and the client is very big, then sometimes it's not possible to just stick with one process builder, and we must have multiple process builders for an object. How can we create time dependent or scheduled actions in a process builder? Okay, let's see this one. So there are 2 ways in which we can set up scheduled actions in process builders. The option 1, where object selection for a process builder, select only when a record is created. I'll show you in a minute how this looks like. Okay. And option 2, when object selection for process builder, if you select when a record is created or edited, then on criteria selection, either select conditions are met or formula evaluates to true, along with the advanced option. This is important. Okay, what advanced option? Do you want to execute the action only when the specified changes are made to the record? Okay, so let's see how it looks. So with option 1, by default all conditions will have scheduled action enabled, right? So only when the record is created, as soon as I give this, then you will have this option of scheduled actions, right? In the option 2, if I give conditions are met, okay, and then I also select this yes, then also you will get scheduled actions. Okay, so try these 2 things. So the next question is, what is the minimum time we can set to trigger the time dependent action? Okay, so what happens is in time dependent workflows or process builders, right? So we want to trigger something after maybe 12 hours, right? or maybe after 24 hours or 72 hours, right? But what is the minimum we can set? Okay, what options we have to set the minimum time, right? So the answer is we can set minimum of 1 hours to trigger the time dependent action, right? This is same for process builders and workflow. So both are having the same options, but oftentimes what happens is we want to give less than that. Okay, so first let me show you what I'm talking about. Like this here, we are giving the time dependent workflow time. So 0.5 hours after created date, right? So I can't give 0.5 because this will not accept anything less than 1 hour. Okay. So the next question is, what if we want to trigger the time dependent action after 30 minutes, right? As I said just now, that there are sometimes requirements wherein, I want to trigger time dependent action after 30 minutes, right? So in that scenarios, what we can do, right? So yeah, there are workarounds. So what is the workaround we have? So it is directly not possible, but you can trick Salesforce to achieve it, right? What you have to do, example, create a formula field that evaluates to date and time and write the formula as a current date and time minus 30 minutes, right? So we are giving a formula with write a formula as a current date and time minus 30 minutes, right? Then create a time dependent workflow that fires after 1 hours after the newly created formula. So minus 30 and then it becomes 30. So what will happen is after 30 minutes it triggers. You try this one, until unless you try this thing, you will not be able to visualize what I'm trying to say. Okay. Next question is, what are the process versions in process builders? So process builders does have versions. So the question here is what actually the versions are, right? So when we first create a process in a process builder, it will create it as version 1, right? And if we modify the same process builder later, then it creates the new version of the process each time we can modify. Okay, so this is a really good feature, right? If you want to see what was my previous version, okay, then we can go back and open that previous version and see, okay, in case my current version is giving me some problem and I want to revert back my process builder to the previous one, we can simply go back to that previous version and then activate, right? So how this version looks like this, okay? As soon as I start creating a process builder, it creates version 1, version 2, and version 3. Okay, let's say for example the only one can be activated, right? So now let's say my third version, which is the latest version, is having some issues, okay, in the production. I want to revert back to its previous stage. I can simply open it and then activate this version as well. Okay, next is lightning flow. Okay, so basically flows, it is now famous as flows. So Salesforce the complete focus now is on flows, right? So Salesforce wants everything and anything in Salesforce to be done using flows, right? So flows is so powerful. It can replace so many things. It can replace process builders. It can replace workflow rules. It can replace Apex classes, right? It can replace triggers. It can replace many other things. Okay, so let's go and see what are flows, right? Before that, I have not given a lot of questions on flows because flow in itself is a very big topic, or I would say it is becoming a very big topic right now. Okay, and Salesforce is continuously enhancing in every release. Salesforce is enhancing flows. I'm just waiting for to get a very good stable version wherein I can gather so many questions from flow itself, and then maybe in future I'll plan to have a separate series just on lightning flows itself. Okay, but for now we can have quick basic questions on flows. So the very first question is, what is a flow, right? So flow is also used to automate the business process in Salesforce. Okay, it is very powerful tool. It collects the data and performs the action in Salesforce. Again, it is similar to workflows and process builder. This is also a business automation process tool, right? So we can automate many things with the help of flows. And I must say that Flows is now one of the most powerful automation tool in Salesforce. Okay, as I said just before, it has the ability to replace many things like triggers, like Apex classes, like even the lightning components and all those things. So we can do a lot of things in flows, right? If you have ignored by any means the flows concept, just go back and first learn flows thoroughly, right? Because everything, all the new projects are being developed in flows itself. Okay, even the usage, what I've seen in my previous projects, the usage of Apex classes and triggers are reduced drastically, because of these flows. Okay, so you should definitely learn flows. Let's see what is the question. What are the questions we have in flows? The very first question in flows are how many types of flows are there in Salesforce, right? Salesforce, as I said, it is replacing many things. So Salesforce has tried to create the different types of flows. So let's go ahead and see what are the different types we will have, right? There are four main types of flows in Salesforce. The very first one is screen flow, right? What will happen in screen flow? It is having the ability to, create screens and navigate through multiple steps of the screens, right? So we can create screen flow. It can be of one screen or it can be a combination of multiple screens as well, right? And after that, second one is have auto launch flow, right? It automatically launches. In that we have record trigger flow, we have scheduled triggered flow, we have platform events triggered flow, and we have auto launch flow. Okay, no trigger, and we have another main type is contact request flow and user provisioning flow. Okay, so these are the different types of flow we have. Okay, when you open the flows and select on all flows, you will see the screen where you have multiple different options to create flows. Okay, don't forget to go ahead and explore the flows and learn thoroughly. Okay, the topic which I should stress upon after objects and relationship should be flows. Okay, let's go ahead and see the next question. What is the difference between a screen flow and an auto launch flow? Okay, so screen flow is used to automate the business process that collects the data from users and take action based on the input of, as I said, right? We can create a screen and we can ask user to enter the details or whatever input we want, right? Or it creates a guided tutorial, right? I can build multiple screen, like first enter this details and second and click on next and enter some more details and so on and so forth, like a wizard screen. Okay, so whereas auto launch flows are used to launch a flow internally when a record changes or when a user clicks on a button. Okay, so in the first one we have screens, and in the second one, this is to perform some logic. Okay, so that's all we have for our today's video. Okay, and thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you prepare for the interview questions and crack your next job. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel right now. That way you don't miss out Salesforce interview questions and answers videos like this one. And just click on the subscribe button below this video, and if you want to read more Salesforce interview questions, head to my blog where I have written this whole series of interview question and answers, and I'll add the link in the comments below. Thank you so much.